Hey everyone, this is Dr. Candace Silvala from Rustic Ranch Remedies. Today in my video I'm going to show how to make this really nice lip balm. It smells like chocolate, white chocolate and raspberry, and it's made with all natural oils, butters, and waxes. Has a nice consistency. It smooths and spreads super nice on the skin, and so it'll feel really nice on the lips. It leaves a really nice layer of protection on the lips that lasts a really long time. It stays on the lips, especially because of the beeswax that's in it. You can use other waxes too, and if you continue watching, you'll see how I made this lip balm. So to start off with, these are the ingredients I'm going to be using. I have a good percentage of my formula in beeswax, a hard butter, this I'm using cocoa butter, and a soft butter I'm using coconut oil. And then I have some liquid oils. I have castor oil, which is really great for your lips, plum kernel oil, chia seed oil, and cranberry seed oil. And those are going to give a really nice moisturization to the lips and also provide omega fatty acids and other really amazing properties for the condition of the lips. As an antioxidant, I'm using vitamin E, and I'm going to scent the product with benzoin resinoid, which has a vanilla type scent to it, and also this Super Scents Raspberry from Formulate Sample Shop. This is a raspberry extract. It's a natural fragrance oil. It's not a fragrance oil that's synthetic. It's made from raspberries and is processed in a similar way as essential oils are, but it's done a little bit differently where they're able to get the raspberry scent from it. So it's really a cool product and a product line that Formulate Sample Shop has. Then I'm going to be using these really cute little 1/4 ounce jars that I thought would be perfect for a lip balm. So I plan that this will turn out to be a little bit of a chocolatey raspberry vanilla type of scent to it. So I hope I'm able to achieve that with what I have here. I have a water bath heating up over here to heat up my waxes, butters, and oils. And then I have my measuring scale here and a 600 milliliter beaker. I'm going to be making a batch size of 400 milliliters, so this gives me a little bit extra room. I like to use a little bit of a taller beaker than the total batch size, so that way I have just room to stir and incorporate all my ingredients without any spillage. I'm not going to say what my exact formula is, but I'll give you a guideline as to how much wax and hard butters, soft butters, and oils that is good to incorporate for a lip balm. For waxes, I find that between 25 to 35% is a good place to start for your waxes. You can also use vegan waxes if you choose to. There's several out there. They give a little bit of different consistency, so you might have to change the percentage based on how that wax performs. And then for the butters, so I have a hard butter, the cocoa butter, and then the kind of like a hard oil. It solidifies at about 76 degrees. So it's a really soft butter or hard oil, coconut oil. This would be a total of between about 35 to 50%. You're going to want of your formula, you're going to want it to be butters. And this is going to change between the ratio between the hard butters and the softer butters. So if you have cocoa butter is a really hard butter and coconut oil is really soft, So in this case, I used about half of each, about equal ratios of each of the hard and soft oil. If you're using a butter like shea butter, that is between these two consistencies. So take that in mind. If you're using cocoa butter and shea butter, you'd probably use less of a percentage or ratio of the cocoa butter to the shea butter. You'd have a higher percentage of shea butter. That way you just have a really nice final consistency to your lip balm. It's not too soft or too hard and brittle. This cocoa butter from New Direction Aromatics, it has a really beautiful chocolate smell to it. So that's something that's really nice if you're wanting that smell in your end product. There's also deodorized butters, but I like to use the least processed oils and butters just because they have the most properties left in them in their most natural state. So I'm going to be adding the cocoa butter, and I need to break it up. It's a solid mass in there. Going to get the coconut oil, and you can find this, just a huge jug of this. It's cold process and unrefined. I got this at Costco. It's a really affordable price. There's really good quality coconut oil from Tropical Traditions. They have a variety of different qualities of coconut oil. So if you're wanting a super high quality coconut oil, I would suggest going there. It's Tropical Traditions. You can see why having a larger beaker is nice, and just by putting the waxes and butters in, not the whole entire formula, it's going to use quite a large volume of this beaker, and as it melts, that volume will decrease, and I'll leave room for all the other ingredients. I'm going to set this in the water bath and let that start to melt while I weigh out the other oils. So all that's left to weigh out is the liquid oils, including the antioxidant and the fragrance. So that entire percentage is the rest of the formula, which is between about 20 to 30%, depending on the ratios you used with your wax, your butters, how you came up with your formula. So I'm going to start with castor oil. And for pouring, I like to take one of these glass rods, put it against the end of the opening of the bottle, and it just allows the oil to go down the glass rod, and it makes it easier for more accurate pouring and control over how much product is going in your beaker. And so you can let it continue to drip there until it gets to the amount you want. And if you get to the amount that you want, there's still some oil left on your rod, you can just take your rod away. Just like that. Here's the plum oil. Here's the chia seed oil. The cranberry seed oil. So I'm just going to give this a mix. I'm going to keep this off to the side and wait till my waxes and oils are melted. My waxes and butters are starting to melt. And I'm just going to kind of push this down so it's more close to the hot water down there that's in the water bath. Okay, so this is completely melted now. I'm going to take it off the burner, take it out of the water bath, and we're gonna add the oils in soon. For a lip balm, I do not want to place it in a cold water bath because I do not want it to solidify real quickly because there's so much wax in it. It'll start to solidify really quickly and easily, especially on the sides of the beaker. I want it to cool down nice and slowly so I can add the remaining oils and it be liquid still and not solidify before I pour them. So it's starting to cool down just a little bit. I want it to cool down just a little bit more before I add the oils. Adding the other oils in will further cool the formula quite a bit. I set up a cooking tray, and yes, it's been used. I have a parchment paper down there and then all my little jars right on top, so it keeps everything nice and clean and also leads to a nice easy cleanup. Since any waxes that go on the parchment paper, it's easy to just remove and throw away instead of trying to scrape that off of any other surface. Countertop is pretty cool because when I'm stirring, I'm seeing that a little bit of the bottom of the beaker is starting to solidify, so it's good to keep stirring it to keep it all uniformly melted as much as you can. And I'm aiming for about 60 degrees Celsius, almost there. So I'm going to stir in these oils now. And just do a little bit at a time so you can see how just adding the oils, it is changing the temperature of the formula and causing some solidification. So just stir to allow that the warmth that's still in there to melt everything. And we just want to keep it as homogeneous or uniform as a temperature or as a texture as we possibly can. And if we can keep it liquid as we the whole time, that'd be best case scenario. We may have to pop this back in the hot water bath. It's just adding that little bit of oil has already started to solidify the whole batch. I'm going to put this back in the hot water bath. While that's in the water bath, I ended up pouring the rest of the oil into there, and I'm just letting it stay nice and warm and uniform. It's not getting above 60 degrees. And I'm going to add the rest of the remaining ingredients to the same beaker that I used for the oils. And I just need to use a small percentage of vitamin E oil. That's the antioxidant. It what helps to keep the formula lasting longer without going rancid. Gives a longer shelf life with that in mind. Next I have the benzoin resinoid or benzoin. And then the Super Scents raspberry. And the Super Scents are oil soluble. And I'm just going to mix that all together. And those Super Scents are very, very strong. You want to treat them like an essential oil, and not just be very light with your percentages you're using with them. I'm at a really nice consistency with the formula here. I've been just continually stirring it in the water bath, and it hasn't gone above 60 degrees Celsius, but it's going to be cooling down super fast. So I'm going to incorporate the last ingredients and then start pouring, and I might have to put this back in the hot water bath as it cools down while I'm pouring it. The cocoa butter left a super yummy chocolate smell to it, so it's going to go so well with the raspberry that's in here. So I'm going to get everything ready here and start pouring. So I think one big tip I would give you is use the liquid oils you use. If you use ones that are not heat sensitive, go ahead and add those to your butters and your wax when all the butters and wax have melted, and pour them right into the beaker when it's in the water bath before it starts cooling down. Because I really forgot just how fast this sets. It's been probably 2 years since I've made a lip balm, but this formula that I've used, the ratios I use have just turned out the most wonderful lip balms that I've ever used. They last on your lips such a nice time and glide on, and the wax really helps to coat the lips and to prevent them from drying out. And then just continue to pop this back in the hot water bath once you see that there's kind of just solidifies so fast, and there's kind of like gets little chunks of the formula that starts to solidify faster that want to pour out. And then like this one over here next to the one I'm pouring right now, that will just be a personal one that I'll keep for myself, and I'll just clean that up after it's completely nice and solid and cool. I wouldn't mess with it while it's hot. And I'll probably have a few here on this tray that will just be my own personal. I'll just mix this back up together again and put it back in the hot water bath to become more uniform again. And another tip, just when you're getting your beaker out of your hot water bath, wipe the bottom off with a towel or paper towel, so that way you're not dripping water into your containers, because then you're causing some contamination in there. Okay, I still have some lip balm in here, and I need to go get some more containers ready. And I still have more, so I'm going to get some more containers. And the last thing I want to show you is the clean up before I show you the final product. So the best way to clean anything that you've used, hard butters, especially waxes, for cleanup, you want to take just a paper towel and just wipe off just as much of the product as you possibly can, instead of trying to just go in with soap and water, because the wax will repel the water and it's going to be very hard for cleanup. You're going to be scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing. So the easiest thing that you can do is just get a paper towel and just clean as much as you possibly can out of your containers and your equipment that you're using. I wanted to show you the final consistency of the lip balm, and it leaves a really nice smooth texture on the top. It smells so nice. It smells like white chocolate and raspberry. And I like to use the back of my finger to get some off. And it just spreads so nice and smooth on the skin the same way it does on the lips, and it lasts so long on the lips. It leaves such a nice protective layer that helps so much with dry, chapped skin, especially during this time of year. This makes a really nice gift. You can see that how much I made with just 400 grams of product. It was over 60 jars. I think this is a really nice size, the 1/4 ounce. I think the biggest tip is just to make sure that your formula is nice and melted and smooth when you're pouring. Continue to melt it while you're pouring to make sure that the texture just is so nice at the end. If you are, if it solidifies while you're pouring it, you can get something like this. And this will be my personal one that I will use along with this one, obviously. And this is just really easy to wipe up though if this happens. You just take some paper towel and just wipe off the waxy bits that were poured out. So that way you can use it for your own personal self. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.